So the NFL season is finally getting underway in just 2 days with the Lions playing the Chiefs and Thursday Night Football. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my best bets for the week 1 of the NFL season. Let's get into it. So here we are on FanDuel, and what I'm going to be doing in this video is going through each game and making my best bet for the game, and then telling you guys who I think is going to win and who I think is going to cover that game. Similar to what Pat McAfee does on his show. I think it's very fun to watch. So what I'm going to be doing is basically the same thing. So the first game we're going to be looking at is going to be the Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And something I want to note here, the last time that Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes played, Jared Goff outscored him 54-51 on Thursday Night Football. So these two have a history of playing each other in big games and on Thursday Night Football in particular. And I think that the best bet of this game is going to be the Detroit Lions at plus 6.5. I think this is going to be a field goal game, and I think this is going to be a very exciting game for the first game of the NFL season. But this is going to be one of my best bets of the week. I think the Lions have a chance to win this game, and either way, I think it's going to be very close, a field goal game either way. So I think the Lions 6.5 is going to be your best bet here. I'm going to go with the Lions winning probably 36-35, and maybe even just getting a 2-point conversion at the end because Dan Campbell has big balls. But either way, I think that's what's going to be happening in this game is the Detroit Lions win a high scoring affair. Over 54.5 is also what I would go for. So if you want to be safe, plus 6.5. If you want to be a little risky, you can go with the money line, but I would just do that straight up personally. In terms of the next game, we're going to have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I wish I could say that the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to win this game. I don't like either of these teams. However, the 49ers, they are most likely going to be winning this game just because of the experience that they have. And also with the Pittsburgh Steelers just having a lot of unknowns. Kenny Pickett, is he a good quarterback? George Pickens, is he going to be that next like DK Metcalf bang bang type of guy? I'm not sure. Both of these teams are kind of question marks in my mind, but a lot of people have the 49ers going like 13-4 this year, and the Steelers, I see them being an even team, and I don't really see them competing with the 49ers, so I'm just going to go straight up with the 49ers for my best bet of this game. So yeah, that's what I would go with. I'd say the 49ers are going to win probably 28-24, so they'll also cover in my opinion. Next up, we're gonna have the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now this is an interesting game here, just because the Carolina Panthers, they do have Bryce Young, and the Atlanta Falcons have Desmond Ridder. Now the Atlanta Falcons do have Bijan Robinson, who a lot of people are thinking is going to be a top running back in this league. They have Drake London, Kyle Pitts. They have a lot of weapons just on the inside in the trenches. I don't know if I trust them as much. So I do think this game is going to come down to the wire. I think it will be a very interesting game to watch. I think picking the Falcons to cover here by 3.5 would just be a pretty dumb move when both of these teams are just kind of question marks on where they're going to land this season. So I would definitely go with the Carolina Panthers plus 3.5, just because I think this will probably be a field goal game. So plus 3.5 with the Panthers would probably be my favorite pick for this game. Wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons won by a field goal, but this one can go either way. So that's what I would go with for this game. And I think I think I'm going to pick the Carolina Panthers to win by 3, but wouldn't be surprised either way. So either of these two picks here going to be not very sure on the money line, but I think Panthers plus 3.5 is going to be a good pick there. Next up, we're going to have the Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Houston Texans got CJ Stroud, but not too much to write home about. The Baltimore Ravens got Odell Beckham Jr. Everyone's back and healthy. And I think that the Ravens are probably going to cover here. I think they're going to win by maybe 2 touchdowns. I would probably go over for this game just in case something weird happens with like the Houston Texans scoring 17, 21 points. But I still think that, the Baltimore Ravens will score about 35. I think they're they're going to try to make a statement early. So I would go with -10 here for the Baltimore Ravens, but I usually don't like to throw parlays in where teams are up -10 in the NFL. But that's probably would be my bet if I had to make one, or the over. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. So I'm going to have to go with the Bengals here, -2.5. I get Deshaun Watson at one point was a very good quarterback, a top 5 quarterback perennial. But it's been a long time and he hasn't shown that he is going to be that guy again. And Joe Burrow has shown that he is that guy. They have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And their defense is much improved. I just don't see the Cincinnati Bengals not covering here. This is pretty much just free money at this point. Either money line or you could do -2.5. It's pretty much going to be the same thing. I don't see this being a 1 or 2 point game. Even if it's a field goal game, I would be surprised. I think the Bengals easily cover here. It's one of my better picks of the week as well. And I'm not really going to go on over or the under here, but -2.5 for the Bengals, easy for me. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Baker Mayfield is going to be the starter here. After Tom Brady, left, I pretty much knew that the Bucs were over. Mike Evans wants to leave. Pretty much, the Vikings are going to win here. Now, it's just a matter of, are the Vikings going to be good enough with Kirk Cousins? We do have Jordan Addison. However, he's had problems in the offseason. Now, is that going to affect him? No. Are they going to have a strong number 2 guy? I think it's going to be TJ Hawkinson is going to be their number 2 guy behind Justin Jefferson. But I think they just have enough to where if I had to pick, I would pick the Vikings -6. The safest bet here is obviously just going to be Vikings money line, but I wouldn't throw this in my best bets of the week. Next up, we got Arizona Cardinals versus the Washington Commanders. So the Cardinals are just tanking for Caleb Williams at this point. Everyone knows it. This is going to be the easiest pick of the week, is going to be Washington Commanders. Even -7, I like it. I might even put like a -9.5 money line right here, just because I don't think there's any way that the Commanders don't win this convincingly when the Cardinals are clearly just trying to tank. So the Commanders -7, I like that. Titans versus the Saints. This is going to be an interesting one because the Saints now have Derek Carr. I don't really see anything dramatic, changing with the Saints. And the Titans are a very solid team. I think a lot of people are counting Derrick Henry out a lot in fantasy, especially this year. I think Derrick Henry's still going to have an amazing year, even though he is getting older. He's about 30, I believe. I think the Titans here, money line is going to be the best bet for this week. Or if you can get the Titans alternative line at +3.5, I like that a lot too. I just don't know why the Titans are being kind of disrespected here. With what they have, DeAndre Hopkins as well. So Titans money line, I like it a lot. Next up, we got the Jaguars versus the Colts. Now, the Colts are an interesting team here with Jonathan Taylor's situation. They do have Anthony Richardson, who is a playmaker, but they don't have a lot of playmakers. They do have Michael Pittman, but he kind of didn't impress last year. And then Jonathan Taylor's not going to be playing for the first 4 weeks at least, and who knows if they're ever going to trade him. So I like their weapons with Pittman and Anthony Richardson, but the Jaguars had a very hot end to the season last year, and I like them a lot. So I would definitely go with the Jaguars money line here. Possibly even, just -4.5. I think they'll probably win by a touchdown as well. So that's what I would go with the Rams versus the Seahawks. If you take one look at my channel or what I'm wearing right now, you would know I'm a Rams fan. But this is going to be one of my best bets of the week, is +5.5 for the Rams. I see this as a field goal game either way. Now, I might be a homer, so you might want to just take into account your own, stuff here. However, I think the Rams money line is something I'm going to be hammering this week as well. But the Rams might not have Cooper Kupp. This is true. However, they have a better offensive line than the Seahawks do. They have a better quarterback than the Seahawks do. I know a lot of people like Geno Smith. Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Geno Smith when healthy, and he's completely healthy now. The Seahawks defensive line is not good, and Cam Akers is out to prove himself. I think Cam Akers is going to have a day. Now, Kenneth Walker possibly could have a day with the Rams as well. They didn't stop the run well in preseason. However, Aaron Donald wasn't out there. We didn't play starters a lot, so it's going to be a much different look. So we can't really take that too much into account. However, I just think that the Rams are going to be in kind of like a shootout at the end here. Maybe not a shootout, but I think the Rams are going to win 27-24. And the best bet of the week is going to be +5.5. There's just no way that the Seahawks win by more than a field goal here. So that's what I'm going to be going with. In terms of the Eagles versus the Patriots, I think this is another easy pick here. I think the Eagles, money line is very solid here, or at least -3.5. I think that, they're definitely going to win by a touchdown, just with all the stuff. They even have DeAndre Swift now. I think that's a very underrated pickup. And Jalen Hurts is not going to stop anytime soon. -3.5 is a very, very solid pick here. So that's what I would go with for this game. For the Raiders versus the Broncos, we're going to, I haven't really thought this one through as much. I actually like the Broncos a lot. New head coach and everything. I think I'm going to have to go with the Broncos here. Just Jimmy Garoppolo, not a big fan for the Raiders. They do have Devontae Adams, so he's always going to make some waves. And I like Josh Jacobs too. Wow, okay, this is actually a pretty tough choice. I would probably go Broncos -210 here in a very ugly game, but I'm not very confident. I actually do kind of like the Raiders and their weapons. I'm gonna go Broncos -210, but I'm not proud of that. Not proud of that pick. In terms of the Packers versus the Bears, the Bears have been hyped up a lot this offseason with the DJ Moore signing. The Packers, although Jordan Love has been getting some love recently, and they do have some playmakers. I'm going to have to go with the Bears, though. I think this is the season where the Packers just have to reload. They're going to have to struggle. Jordan Love, he has played in NFL games, but I just think that the Bears are probably going to take this one. So this is also another one I'm not very confident in, but I'm going to go with the Bears over the Packers. Dolphins versus Chargers. Now, I don't know why the Dolphins are getting disrespected here. They have an amazing offense. If they could have got Jonathan Taylor, that would have been huge for them. But they would have had to give up Jalen Waddle. They have Jalen Waddle. They also have Tyreek Hill. Tua is a better quarterback than I've given him credit for. I think I like the Dolphins here, +3.5 if I could get that alternative line. But I do like Justin Herbert, and he plays much better when his wide receivers are healthy, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. They also have Quentin Johnston now. You know what? I'm going Chargers money line -162. If Jalen Ramsey was playing, I would have went with the Dolphins, but he's not, so I'm going with the Chargers. In terms of the Cowboys versus the Giants, we're going to have a pretty good game brewing here. The Cowboys are hyped up. They got CeeDee Lamb, no more confusion with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. I'm not as high on Dak Prescott as a lot of people, but he does have a lot of weapons. So that's interesting. But I do like Daniel Jones. I like Daniel Jones a lot. I made videos on the Giants last year with Saquon Barkley and all the weapons that they have with Daniel Jones. I think their running game is very dynamic. I think I'm just going to have to go with the New York Giants +3.5. I don't see, I believe they're at home. I just don't see the Cowboys whooping on them like a lot of people might think they will. So +3.5 with the Giants. I'm not like supremely confident, but I would do that if I was betting. And finally, we got the Bills versus the Jets. And, the Jets are reloaded. They got a lot of weapons with Aaron Rodgers coming in. Now Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall coming back. He was looking very good. I like the Jets a ton. I think that the Bills are probably going to be too much for them. I think when they play later in the season, I think the Jets will get it done. However, I think they need some more time to mesh. And since it's the first game, I think the Bills are going to be, too much for them. And I think the Bills will cover here -2.5. But if they don't, and Aaron Rodgers just looks godly, wouldn't be surprised, but I would go with the Bills here. So if you guys were going to go with the parlay, I will be putting money on myself on this parlay with the Lions 6.5, Bengals -2.5, and then the Rams +5.5. And that's going to pay out, if you put $100, that would pay out $600. Or if you put, just $10, it'd pay out $60. So whatever you're going to do, just make sure you make the decision on your own. This is not financial advice, but this is what I would do. So yeah, what did you guys think about this? Did I miss anything? Did I crap on your team and you didn't appreciate it? Let me know in the comment section below. But other than that, that's going to be it. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.